Your phone lights up at 11 p.m. The name you swore you'd never see again flashes on your screen. Hey, how have you been? 3 simple words, maybe an emoji, and suddenly your pulse quickens. For a split second, your heart forgets the pain, your mind forgets the truth, and your body whispers, "She's back." But before you type a single word, stop. Because what's happening right now isn't love. It's not fate. It's not destiny giving you a second chance. It's your biology playing tricks on you. That rush you feel, the excitement, the hope, it's a chemical illusion. Your brain is releasing dopamine and oxytocin, the same chemicals that once bonded you to her. Except this time, it's not connection, it's withdrawal. You're not falling in love again, you're relapsing. See, after a breakup, the brain goes through withdrawal just like it would from a drug. For her, it takes about 3 to 6 months for those bonding chemicals to destabilize. When they spike, she starts to feel something that looks and sounds like love, but isn't. It's nostalgia mixed with loneliness, wrapped in biology. I've seen hundreds of men fall into this trap. The ex reappears, the chemistry reignites, the talks feel deep again. For a few weeks, it's magical, until it collapses exactly the same way it did before. Why? Because what she's chasing isn't you. It's the relief that your presence gives her brain. You're not her lover anymore. You've become her emotional drug dealer. And when that craving is satisfied, she'll vanish again. The same pattern, the same heartbreak, just shorter each time. This isn't about love. It's about control. Because when she doesn't know what you're doing or who you're with, it creates anxiety. Reaching out is her way to soothe that anxiety, not rebuild what was lost. It's not affection, it's control disguised as care. So before you reply to that text, pause. Remember, her "I miss you" might just be her brain's way of saying, "I'm uncomfortable without the power I used to have." Not every return is about love, comfort, or even loneliness. Sometimes it's about power. See, for some women, the breakup isn't the end. It's a test. A test to see if she still has emotional control over you, if she can still make you answer, if one text can still pull you out of peace and back into her storm. She doesn't want reconciliation. She wants confirmation that she still matters, that even after everything, she still has space in your head. One of my clients learned this the hard way. His ex reached out every few months with the same message, "Hey, how have you been?" Every time, she just wanted to chat. Never to meet, never to fix things. It wasn't love, it was emotional maintenance. She didn't want him back. She just wanted to know she still could have him if she wanted. That tiny hit of control soothed her ego, and she'd vanish again. When he finally stopped replying, she panicked. Her messages doubled, then tripled. She showed up at his work, furious that he wouldn't engage. But once he gave her attention, the illusion shattered. She got her answer and disappeared within hours. It wasn't affection, it was validation. And that's the cruelest form of manipulation, because it looks like care, but it's really control. Many women keep what I call emotional safety nets. Exes they text once in a while, old flames they like posts from, men they know will respond. You're not her friend. You're her insurance policy. You're the backup plan she uses to avoid loneliness or uncertainty. And the moment you move on or stop orbiting around her, she feels panic, not because she loves you, but because she's losing control of the narrative. That anger you see when she finds out you're dating someone new, that's not heartbreak. It's ego injury. It's not about losing you, it's about losing her power over you. The truth is, each round of this emotional tug-of-war drains you more than it does her. Your energy depletes, your self-respect erodes, and you start mistaking chaos for passion. You're not rebuilding anything. You're just keeping an old wound open because it's familiar. The more you play the game, the weaker your boundaries become. And the weaker your boundaries, the easier you are to pull back into the same pain dressed in new words. Every man who falls for that late-night message believes this time will be different. He thinks the pain has taught her something, that she's finally realized what they had was special. But the truth? It's the same movie with a slightly different script. See, the cycle always begins the same way. The text arrives, the dopamine hits, and both of you slip into a fantasy built from memory, not reality. The first few weeks feel like magic. Long talks, familiar laughs, the spark reignited. But what's really happening isn't healing, it's relapse. Her brain gets its fix of the chemical high it was craving. And once that craving fades, so does her interest. You weren't rebuilding a relationship, you were helping her escape withdrawal. You weren't her partner, you were her medication. And when the emotional itch is scratched, she remembers why she left in the first place. One of my clients lived this pattern 4 times. Each reunion burned hotter but shorter. The first reconciliation lasted 6 months. The second, 3. The third, 6 weeks. By the fourth, 2 weeks. Each cycle shrinking because each time the illusion wears off faster. That's not love, that's addiction wearing thin. The human brain adapts to pleasure quickly. What once took a simple text to trigger now takes constant reassurance, constant attention. And when she can't get enough, frustration replaces affection. Her messages turn cold, her tone distant, her interest gone. You're left wondering what changed, when the truth is, nothing ever did. Ignoring her texts, on the other hand, triggers an even stranger reaction. Your silence disrupts her feedback loop. She doesn't get the dopamine release she expected. Her anxiety spikes. Suddenly, she's more persistent, more emotional, more creative in trying to pull you back. Not because she misses you, but because she can't complete the loop in her mind. That's why not responding makes you seem powerful. It forces her brain into tension, and tension feels like attraction to her. But understand this, no contact doesn't last forever. After 12 to 18 months, her attachment truly dissolves. If she comes back after that, it's not hormones anymore, it's convenience. She's not returning for love. She's returning for comfort. Because you don't represent passion, you represent safety, predictability, familiarity. She doesn't want you back. She wants the feeling of being secure again. And once she gets that, she'll vanish. Again.
When she reaches out after months of silence, it's easy to believe she's had a revelation, that she's realized what she lost, that maybe she's changed. But here's the hard truth. She hasn't suddenly remembered how amazing you were. What she's feeling isn't clarity, it's confusion driven by brain chemistry. After the emotional bond breaks, the brain doesn't heal in a straight line. Around the 3 to 6 month mark, her oxytocin and dopamine, the same chemicals tied to connection, start fluctuating wildly. This hormonal chaos creates an illusion. She doesn't actually miss you, she misses how she felt when she was with you. And her mind, desperate for relief, tricks her into thinking you're the solution. That's why the first reunion always feels electric. The emotions flood back. The chemistry seems alive again. But what's really happening is biological, not romantic. Her system is reactivating the old reward pathways you once filled. You've become a familiar fix to calm her discomfort. I worked with a client once. His ex-wife reappeared 8 months after their brutal divorce. She'd humiliated him, poisoned his kids against him, even shared his private texts online. Then, one day, out of nowhere, "I've been thinking about us." For a moment, he wanted to believe it was redemption, but it wasn't. She'd just learned he was dating someone younger, more confident, and genuinely happy. That sudden loss of control, not love, pulled her back. Control often hides behind affection. When she was with you, she knew everything: your habits, your friends, your patterns. Now she knows nothing. That uncertainty doesn't make her long for you, it makes her restless. Her message is less about reconnecting and more about regaining power. Every text, every "I miss you," every sudden apology, it's part of her brain trying to end its own discomfort. It's not about who you are, it's about how you made her feel: familiar, stable, predictable. You think she's coming back for love, but she's coming back for control, for closure she never earned, and for reassurance she doesn't deserve.
When you finally stop responding, everything changes. Not for her, for you. Because that's the moment you take your power back. You stop being the emotional safety net she runs to when her new world falls apart. You stop being the familiar voice that calms her anxiety. And you finally see what this whole cycle was really about. Not love, not fate, but control and comfort disguised as connection. When she texts after a year, it's not magic bringing her back, it's math. Her options changed. Her circumstances shifted. Maybe the man she left for disappointed her, or maybe she's facing loneliness she thought she'd never feel again. Now she remembers the stability you offered and calls it love. But what she's really seeking is relief. Sometimes she'll wrap it in the language of regret. I've changed. I've realized what I lost. But when you look closer, there's no evidence, just emotion. No therapy, no growth, no behavioral change, only a wish to feel safe again. You've been here before, and you already know how that story ends. The truth is brutal but freeing. Most returns aren't about reconciliation. They're about reassurance. She needs to know she still has the power to be wanted, that her past choices didn't erase her worth. And you, if you're not careful, will become the proof she uses to comfort herself. You're not her second chance. You're her backup plan. And taking her back doesn't heal her guilt, it just rewards her manipulation. I've seen men lose years repeating this loop, hoping, forgiving, restarting, breaking again. Every cycle erodes their confidence until they forget who they were before her. They confuse history with destiny and pain with depth. But here's the truth. Letting go isn't weakness. It's wisdom. Saying no to the past doesn't make you cold, it makes you clear. Because peace is not found in replaying what broke you, it's found in refusing to return to it. She might come back again, they often do, but this time you'll see the pattern for what it is: a rerun. A loop, a test of your strength. And when you choose silence instead of reaction, composure instead of chaos,